so right. We are awakened. Come and join our love. It's so right. If you could feel what we.
You are listening to the Awakened Radio Network at awakenedradio.net. Join us on the go through the free application at tunein.com. You asked for it. We've supplied it. Awakened Radio is about change, different, making it new, and we're giving you an opportunity to co-create with us. We've heard you over the years, all of us, begging for, yearning for a new way for media, new way for sales, new way to create our lives, a way to cooperate with one another. Well, Awakened Radio has set it up for you, and you are invited to be part, either by sponsoring a show, advertising with us, hosting your own broadcast, sharing our links, or giving something back financially. We have donate buttons throughout our website at awakenedradio.net. Your contributions really are what have brought us this far and what will help us financially to move into new expansions. Thank you so much for making it real, for putting your money where your mouth is, for co-creating with us. We talk a lot about, I won't change. Well, this is your opportunity to create some. If you like what we're doing, only breaking every 30 minutes. If you like what we're doing, not covering, the interest of big business, then pitch in, support us, co-create with us. Everybody can donate $1, $5, $10. Any amount is always appreciated. Thank you so much for your love and support of the Awakened Radio Network. Join us on our website, awakenedradio.net.
You're now tuned in to Your Unfolding Senses on Awakened Radio. I'm your host, Rob Ragazine. This show is all about opening up to and accessing your full intuitive capabilities, with a wide range of topics, including everything from archetypes, chakras and dreams, to numerology and tarot. We also try experiments and exercises you can try at home to help you deepen and explore. The show airs every Thursday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. It's brought to you by intuitionbyrob.net, where I offer tips and tools related to show topics. Please enjoy the show and invite your friends. And remember, we're all intuitive.
Rob, I don't hear you.
Well, welcome everyone. It's November 14th, 10 p.m. You're on Your Unfolding Senses. I'm Rob Ragazine, your host, author, and explorer. Tonight is a special interview with guest Shannon Watson, but first I'd like to congratulate our new host, Stephanie Levias, for her new show, also to Susan Kern for Magical Life Playground, and Donna Devane for Healing Circle. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you'd like to ask our guest, Shannon Watson, questions, you can call us at 334-649-7204 or at Awakened Radio to Skype. Now, Shannon has helped to found Activate CT here in Connecticut and organized the recent Million Mask March in Hartford on November 5th. And she's a single mom raising several stepchildren and had to leave her previous work experiences because she had health issues, and now she feels that she's able to work and contribute as she does work with Activate CT. She says, activism gives me the ability to give something back, and now she feels that everything is coming together at the right time and place. Welcome, Shannon. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you tonight, Rob?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on the radio. I know it takes a lot of courage to come on, and we do have a lot to talk about tonight, so let's go there and let's talk about Activate CT and some of your upcoming events, especially you mentioned the TPP and the March Against Mainstream Media.
Yes. The March Against Mainstream Media is coming up this Saturday that in Hartford on Broad Street. That's going to be outside the Hartford Current building, and Fox, the Connecticut Fox News channel is there. Now we didn't organize that, but I do think it's something important for people to get involved in, to try to draw some attention to the fact that mainstream media doesn't really seem to cover the news that's happening. They cover a very edited version of what seems to be going on out there. A lot of people have found other news sources. I know I very rarely do I watch the mainstream media, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, generally just to get an idea of what people are seeing on the news.
Now, this is an event that's put on by a separate group outside of Anonymous?
Yes, this is a group that's been organizing this across the country, and I believe there's some events going on in Canada as well as some other areas. So they have quite a few events going on. The woman organizing it, I believe Danny, was organizing this in Connecticut. She stepped up and filled in there to try to get some people down there, and it sounds like it's coming together pretty well. They have some speakers lined up, and there should be a pretty good turnout on Saturday afternoon. So
if people are interested, they can just show up.
Yep, it's on Broad Street right outside the Hartford Current building, and if you search for it on Facebook, actually that's where all the information would be. Look up March Against Mainstream Media Connecticut, and you will find the event page, which has all the details on it. So I believe it's at 1 o'clock.
And the TPP?
That has been a very interesting topic for me, which I was just introduced to a few months ago, and so were the rest of Activate CT. Deborah and Rebecca and I chose to take on the challenge of spreading the word. There's not many people aware of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It's a new trade agreement. It's being called a trade agreement. It's a lot bigger than just trade. It affects us in every aspect of our life, and it involves the United States as well as 11 other Pacific Rim countries. It's been negotiated for a few years now, but there's very little press on it, very little information available, very top secret. WikiLeaks did just release a chapter yesterday morning, and that's the first information we've seen in over a year. And it was one of 29 chapters. There's 29 chapters of this agreement being negotiated right now, with, I believe, 600 advisors, which are, the majority of which are corporate advisors, and very little congressional involvement at this point. So we've been working very hard to meet with the members of Congress that represent Connecticut to get their take on where things stand, where they stand on the TPP. It has been said that President Obama is going to be requesting this get fast-tracked, or that he be granted trade authority, which he does not have right now, so that he can negotiate this and deliver it to Congress, where it will have to be voted on with a simple yes or no vote. No amendments, no public discussion. we're very much against that. We don't feel that would allow Congress to represent the people in their district if they're not allowed to review it the same way they would any other bill. So we did a lot of work, and at this point, Rosa DeLauro actually was the co-author of a letter that was delivered to President Obama yesterday, stating that they were against granting this trade authority. Congresswoman Esty and Congressman Courtney both signed on to that letter with her. We were able to meet with a representative from John Larson's office as well as Jim Himes, a representative from his office on the trade. They have signed on a different letter, which is not as strong as the one we would hope that they would have signed on to, yet they have said they will not agree to trade authority in the way it is now. They'd want some more involvement in it. So I'm hoping that's positive. I think we did a lot of hard work. We had a lot of people involved, and I think we made some huge strides in that area.
I just had a question from the chat room, Shannon. And
yep.
Have you heard of Agenda 21? And is the TPP part of that?
Well, I've heard of Agenda 21, and I've heard people speak about that. I would have to say, I don't have all the information on Agenda 21, and I kind of try to stay away from that. I would say if you would have to look at the TPP as a New World Order type of politics and law. And there really is no way to not look at it like that. It does remove much of our sovereignty as a nation, and it does set up international law that isn't even really run by a court, more of a tribunal. It's some of the bad things that happened with NAFTA, but multiplied exponentially. And I think to see what the outcome of it would be, you don't have to do much more than look to Detroit and get a picture of where we would end up if we were to follow through and actually end up. And there's no way really to get out of it once we agree to it. It would involve the 12 countries, that includes us, but it does have the ability for other countries to dock onto it afterwards, and that includes China possibly, or Russia, or anyone that wanted to, as long as they agreed to the negotiated text, they could dock onto the agreement and become part of that.
So do your research and just be aware that it's big.
It is. It's huge, and it affects. It does away with things like the Buy American programs and the Buy Local programs. It eliminates any food labeling. So those of us that have worked very hard to get food labeling laws passed, as Connecticut, the first state to pass them, those laws would become null and void. It does away with any kind of knowledge about where your food comes from. And there's countries, Vietnam is one of the countries, Japan, Brazil. So you have food coming and you don't even know where it's coming from or what the food safety standards are. It allows any company that operates within one of the countries that's part of this agreement to sue the country, the state, or the town that they operate in based on losses of future expected profits, which to me that is the biggest red flag right there. Because any kind of laws that you try to enact for safety of your employees, for wages, or for labeling or food safety or anything like that, they can say will affect their profits, and then they can sue the taxpayers to make up for those profits. So that's very scary to me.
Well, we'll have to table that for a little bit later. And Shannon, the Million Mask March was in over 400 cities. What do you think is the biggest immediate benefit of this?
I would have to say there's been a couple. There's been a renewed energy. I've seen some wonderful things come out of it. There's been a lot of people that have connected and started some new projects coming out of there. I also believe it did enlighten some people as to what Anonymous is and what members of Anonymous are trying to accomplish. That we're not some sort of big, scary thing hiding in the closet. You know, it's people. It's just people like everybody else. And to have such a large, peaceful gathering across so many cities and so many countries of people with so many different backgrounds coming together, and political backgrounds, religious beliefs, genders, race, all of that became unimportant, and what mattered was the unity and the peace that we were trying to demonstrate. And it was a very motivational thing for a lot of people, I believe.
Shannon, have the events been largely peaceful?
Yes. We the very few incidents that I've heard of have been in countries. I know that in Brazil there was some issues, and it was pre-protest, and it was actually, from what I understand, the people arranging the protests in Brazil were arrested. So there was some issues, but they were more generated from the state than from the protesters. It seems that most of it was very peaceful and without a lot of incident. So.
Okay. So, Shannon, how can people who want to help begin to make a difference?
There's so many ways. That's a hard question to answer. I think it depends on the level of involvement someone wants to have. I would say the biggest thing you can do is to educate yourself on what's going on around you. Start looking into some alternative media sources, RT.com and Democracy Now!, Natural News. These are some sources where you can get some news that's a little less biased, and as well as covers things that you're not seeing on your television. And that'll give you some information to work with. There's so many different sources available online to reach out and help. There's so many different, just simple things like signing petitions. I mean, we use petitions a lot to get attention to things in Congress or the Senate or at the local level as well. And I've used change.org and moveon.org to do petitions with, and they're very easy to use, whether you're creating your own or you're signing other people's petition. And that's a simple way to get involved. You don't have to leave the front of your computer to do that. I obviously recommend everybody, look up Activate CT on Facebook. We're working on a website now so we can have a more organized way of putting information out there. But our goal is to gather information from other activists in the area, other groups that are doing work, and try to share it and distribute it so that people are aware of what's available to them, what they can go, whether it be the showing of a movie or an educational session or a rally or a march, or sometimes we run campaigns to call members of Congress or to send letters to newspapers. So we try to keep all of those things out there so that people can access them and participate and be involved. And our goal is to activate people, to get them involved in what's going on and to help bring attention to the things that are going on to other people, whether it be from your town or the state, things that you think need attention. If you bring it to us, we can redistribute that out to a wider audience. We work with other, there's things like, there's an app that's out there that I've heard a lot of great things about. It's called Boycott, and if you are looking to boycott different companies for different reasons, this is a great app that will help you do that by scanning barcodes, and they can tell you whether a product is something that you've chosen not to buy or not, which it can be very hard to keep track of if, you don't want to buy anything to do with Monsanto or you are boycotting Kellogg's. This helps to keep track of those kind of things. Get involved. There's other things. There's a great project, actually, the Anti-Hero Project. We had a Travis Gibbs, who is part of that, performed for us at the Million Mask March. He is a slam poet, and he is amazing. He really is doing a lot of work to get people to express themselves. Everyone has something different to bring to the table. We all have our own skill set that can help bring change to the community around us. And he works with artists to bring that out, whatever form of art it may be, to release that anger and that energy in a different way. And not only does it help you to release it, but other people are seeing it, and it may connect with someone and help them come out and help them get involved also. So there's just a lot of different things going on. You can really get involved at a very small level by signing a petition or two, or, attend a showing of a film that will help educate you. Go to a class. We've offered classes on the TPP. We've done some classes on that to try to educate people on what it was and what was going on. And we have people doing things like that all the time, and we try to share that information so it's out there. I think once you get involved a little bit, you tend to keep getting involved a little bit more and a little bit more until it does tend to take a life of its own. But there's another great, this is an anonymous movement, Project Anonymous, which is something that was started after the march that we had. People are working together in communities to have leaders, leaders is probably the wrong word, but coordinators in different communities to help with donations for those that need it, to help with different projects that are going on to help their communities, backpack programs, clothing for the shelters, food donations for the shelters, things like that are really important right now. Connecticut has over 4,000 homeless people, and the weather is changing, it's getting cold, and to do something, the holidays are coming, we have a lot of families in Connecticut that need help, so we're really trying to reach out and within each community get people to activate and help the people in their community that really need it the most, that are, really struggling to get by. And for them, it means a lot more than it does, for someone else. To be able to give them just a little bit, that little extra that you can give, means so much to those people that need it right now. And when they're able to, they can turn around and then do it for someone else. And that's really the message we want to get across to people, to help each other. So
that's a lot of activity. That's really wonderful. And in the chat room, we had someone, Project Anon, mentioned Project Keep Warm.
Yep, there's actually the Million Mask Outreach is a great place to go. The Million Mask Outreach is a clearinghouse, I guess you would say, of different projects that are going on around the country. where people are reaching out, and there's a lot of different operations. There's there's Keep Warm, there's Christmas operations, there's clothing drives, there's food drives, so letter writing campaigns, things like that. And if you go to the Million Mask Outreach, you can look through there and you can look for people in your community that are organizing something. So it's a great place to go and look and see what's available in your community. So I highly recommend checking there and seeing what you can find.
Okay. We're coming up on a break, so can you share ways to reach you and Activate CT?
Yes. Our email is activatect@gmail.com. And if you would like to be added to our mailing list, send us an email and ask us to add you. We don't send a lot of emails out, but we do try to update people on what's going on. On Facebook, it's Activate CT Now. And on Twitter, we are Activate_CT.
And they can keep track of all the upcoming events if they go there, Shannon?
Yes, the Facebook page is the best page right now to keep track of what's upcoming. And eventually there'll be a website that we'll be able to manage it a little bit more than we do with Facebook. But we do keep all the information on Facebook.
And you'll have a website up soon so they can follow you there too.
Yes, hopefully soon. It's just the three of us, and we fit in the time when we can. The last few months have been very busy with the March Against Monsanto and the Million Mask March and the rallies for the TPP. We've been very busy, so we're trying to get ourselves focused and organized right now.
And as one of the founders, what's one of the most important things that you'd like people to know about the work that you do, Shannon?
Oh, that we do it for everybody else. That, we want people to be involved. That's our entire goal and our whole purpose. While we as a group may fund or endorse different projects or manage different projects, the end goal is for people to get involved, regardless of their political opinions. We try to stay unbiased on these things because if you're out debating it and you're out involved in it, you don't have to agree with me on everything, but at least you're getting your opinion out there, and that's so important, and it's something that not enough people are doing right now. I really, really feel like it's so important for everyone to get involved, and they need to. Right now, it's critical.
So don't be afraid.
Never be afraid. I think that a lot of people are afraid, and I've been through my moments of fear getting out there too, and it's actually been a very exciting thing. I've experienced nothing that has given me any reason to be afraid. I've done nothing but I've met some wonderful people and gotten a lot of encouragement and some great energy and some very positive energy, and it's been a wonderful experience so far for me. So I know some people are very afraid to take that first step out there. So step slowly, do it at your pace and what's right for you. You will start to feel the positiveness back from it, and then maybe move a little bit farther into it.
Okay. This has been Shannon with Activate CT, and we'll come back after break and talk more with Shannon after the break. And if you have questions, I'll give the call-in number in when we come back. So please stay tuned for more talk with Shannon Watson.
Through the fighting like we're all eyes open, showing our inside and light so bright. We are awakened. Come and join.
At Awakened Radio Network, we're all about success. We know that working together is the perfect way for all of us to live the success lifestyle. That's what it is. It's a lifestyle. And to help our listeners move into 2014 knowing that they can live this life, we're opening up our airwaves to some of the best lifestyle teachers anywhere in the world. A day-long event where you, as the speaker, are spotlighted by our station manager, Donna Devane, the Barefoot Guru, who knows how to guide you to your best sharing. Check out our website and get all the details at awakenedradio.net. Look on the tab where it says Success 2014. Perhaps you and your message would be perfect for our December 1st, 2013 speaker event, where we give people the tools to do more than wish. We empower them to live success. I'd like to invite you to add Awakened Radio to your Skype or email Donna Devane at awakenedradio@gmail.com to find out more about this 9-hour speaker event. Let Donna Devane help you share your message of healing, personal empowerment, success, whatever it is that you're passionate about. This is the perfect opportunity for you to share with our listeners all around the world, December 1st, 2013, where we help people to do more than wish. We're going to give them the tools to live success. Join us, Awakened Radio, at awakenedradio.net.
Welcome. You're now tuned in to Your Unfolding Senses on Awakened Radio. I'm your host, Rob Ragazine. This show is all about opening up to and accessing your full intuitive capabilities with a wide range of topics, including everything from archetypes, chakras and dreams, to numerology and tarot. We also try experiments and exercises you can try at home to help you deepen and explore. The show airs every Thursday night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. It's brought to you by intuitionbyrob.net, where I offer tips and tools related to show topics. Please enjoy the show and invite your friends. And remember, we're all intuitive. And we're back with Shannon Watson of Activate CT. If you have a question for Shannon, you can type it in our chat room or call us here at Awakened Radio by adding Awakened Radio to your Skype, or you can call us on the phone, and that number is 334-649-7204. And Shannon, we were talking about Anonymous, and I have some questions that people are interested in, and one of them is, what's the ultimate goal of Anonymous? And we talked a little bit about this earlier, but can you explain what it is that they ultimately want?
I don't know if there's an answer to that. I think Anonymous is a constantly changing, almost entity of itself. So the ultimate goal, I don't know if there is one ultimate goal. I think the goal we were looking.
I was reading about the way that it works, I guess, and that is that someone picks a topic and they say they're going to do something, and then if multiple people support that project, then it builds steam and it gets to go ahead.
Yeah, that's really what it is. That's the best way to explain it. It's made up of so many different people with so many different backgrounds, and really if you present something to the group, which is a massive amount of people, and it's not like we all have this one place where we go to and say, oh, here's what I want to do, or these secret meetings or anything like that. Just through different interactions, if you present something that you really feel is important, it needs to be addressed. If enough people agree with you, then it takes off and it starts building from there, and can change over time. So that's why it's very hard to identify what an end goal is. I think as a group, the majority would agree with you that we really want freedom, we want justice. Those are our big. We want people to be treated fairly, and that's what the message we were trying to deliver with the march. Those are critical things, and everyone should be treated equally. And we're seeing too much injustice and inequality and corruption, and it needs to be changed. What the end goal is, the result we will come out with, I don't think that's something that any one person could put into words right now, but I do believe that it's being addressed, and there's so many different ways of addressing it. For me personally, my goals are very, I believe in fighting against the system from inside the system and outside the system, I guess, would be the best way to put it, to get us to a better place that's more fair and more equal.
Okay. Shannon, I had another question about the march against mainstream media. Why is that happening? Is that an anonymous event, or is that someone else?
That is not Anonymous. There'll be members of Anonymous involved in the event. I think in different areas, just because so many members of Anonymous have. I feel that mainstream media is doing such a strong disservice to the public, and because so many of us we're activists, we're involved, and so while you may see members of Anonymous there, this was something that was organized by other groups, and I haven't been very involved in the organizing of it, so I really don't have a lot of details about who was the original planners of it. And it's happening because of frustration. The message being delivered by the mainstream media is not honest, it's not accurate, it's not a fair picture of what's happening in the world. There's a lot of things going on in the world that they do not talk about that really, really need to be addressed. You look at Fukushima, and this is just a disaster beyond, I don't even know how to express it. The radiation that's being leaked out and the things that are happening because of this, yet it's very rarely addressed on any mainstream media. To me, that should be a headline story and something needs to be done about it, but many people aren't really aware of it. If you don't go out and look for the information, then you don't get it. And for me, the press is failing miserably at the service they should be providing to the people. And there's a lot of people that have seen that and are getting very frustrated with it. I think this is just a way to let them know that we're getting tired of it. The negative news, the constant barrage of horrible things that are happening in the world, I think causes people to be very scared and have a lot of fear. And it's not, you're not going to walk out your front door and get attacked by a terrorist. You're not going to there's bad things that happen, and there's always been bad things that have happened. But that seems to be all we hear about anymore. And we don't get a lot of news about the things that are happening overseas, the things that are going on in the wars that we're involved in. You saw no news coverage of the Million Mask March. I mean, there was no news coverage of it on mainstream media. But when you have thousands of activists in Washington, D.C. closing down the streets and walking down the streets and demanding answers from their government, that's something that to me should be on the news. And I'd like some honest answers personally of why that's not being broadcast on the news.
Now, Shannon, with the march on Saturday, how do you think that will be portrayed when all these people, some of them with masks, some of them not, in the media?
My honest opinion is it won't be. There'll be no information about it in the media, in the mainstream media. That's what my honest opinion is. That has been in May of this year, for example, we had the March Against Monsanto in Hartford. We had approximately 250 people attend that. I want to make sure clearly up front, whenever Activate CT organizes an event, we are very thorough in doing a press release to all local media on any event that we are doing. They're given all the details in advance, what the mission is, what we're there to accomplish, where we will be, what time we'll be there. All of that is given to all of the local media. And so when they don't cover it, it's not because they don't know about it. Because I do think a lot of people believe it's because they don't know. They're well aware of it. It's a choice they're making. And in May, Fox did do a comment, a very small little piece about the March Against Monsanto, and they quoted that there was dozens of people. Now, for Hartford, 250 people is a lot of people to turn out in Hartford. It was one of the biggest.
It was a cold, rainy day, too.
It was 40 degrees, and it was raining. It was miserable out. And it was one of the largest protests Hartford has seen in decades.
Cars were honking.
Waving. Yep. It was a great event. And the response we got to Fox when we questioned them about what their misinformation that they published and why they weren't there was that they said they didn't come because it was raining. So to me, so you're not covering the news because it's raining is not acceptable to me. So I don't foresee them covering anyone protesting against their coverage or lack of coverage of the news. I think they're just going to ignore it, like they do with a lot of other things, unfortunately, because those are positive things, and it would be great to get that news out there because it is news.
Shannon, do you feel that you are being listened to? The people
yeah.
More people are listening now?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I think we've seen things change. We've, for example, watched Kellogg's, which has been a huge boycott for the GMO issues, and they're staunch standing by the GMOs and refusing to label and refusing to change. They've been boycotted for quite some time now, and this is the third quarter we've seen their stocks and their profits go down. I believe that people are standing up and things are changing. Monsanto has been losing money steadily and dropping down, and there's been some large investment companies that have dropped them from their portfolios, which has been wonderful, in my opinion. I don't have any love lost with that company. I have very bad feelings towards them. So I think people are starting to get involved. It's just a very slow process. You're fighting against something that financially outweighs us, I mean, millions of times over. And as far as the seat of power, and they have the ear of the people making the decision. So it takes a lot more people to start to sway things. But if you look at Washington State, and that they just had the vote on labeling GMOs, and unfortunately it did not pass, but it was very close. And the anti-labeling lobbies and companies dumped massive amounts of money into their campaigns to fight that. That to me says that they're scared and that they know that they've got a battle on their hands, and it was a very hard win for them. So I think people are listening. I think people are starting to question things more, and that's what's so critical. Just start questioning things, start asking the hard questions, and you'll get some answers you might not like, but it's the only way to get anything to change at this point.
Shannon, we have a question from the chat room, and it's about the high levels of GMO in baby formula.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, I don't know really what to say about it. It disgusts me. Unfortunately, I'm in a position financially with my family where we cannot not eat GMOs. I wish we could. I wish that was an option for us. We do what we can to avoid it. I'm very frustrated by the GMO battle, and even though I know we've made so much headway, this is our food. This isn't something we can play around with. And baby formula, I mean, to just be, these are babies. It's just wrong. And this is where my complete hate for a company like Monsanto, in our last march against Monsanto, I was able to speak about Agent Orange and was actually worked with a group, Children of Vietnam Veterans Health Alliance, to get certified to speak on that. And as the child of a Vietnam veteran who was exposed to Agent Orange, which was another evil thing that Monsanto created, that our government stood behind, that has killed so many people, and to this day, third generation children being born of Vietnam veterans are being born with illnesses caused by the Agent Orange that their grandparents were exposed to in Vietnam. So for the government to say it's safe and Monsanto to say it's safe means absolutely nothing to me at all. It means nothing. They've lied before about so many things and said they were safe. So until somebody can prove to me that GMOs are safe, I'm just going to continue to fight to get them labeled at the very least. I mean, just at the very least. And they should not. For them to be in baby food it makes me sick. Honestly, it really does.
And outside of the GMOs, I was just reading about a patent today for aspartame, and it shows that it's made basically from the feces of bacteria.
Yeah. Yep, that's another one that Monsanto, that was another one of their wonderful products they've delivered to us. They have a history. Anyone that looks back at their history will see the beginning of them it's been a history of death and disease. It's a very ugly, I mean, they truly, to me, represent just something straight from hell. They've had so much support from our government, which just is really sad that we've been sold out. And I guess that was where I really started being involved in what was going on in this country, this world, and in our state, and seeing that level of deception and deceit and the lies made me start questioning other things that were being told and looking into other things more. And I don't by any stretch consider myself a conspiracy theorist. I don't think I need to go that far into things, honestly. I don't even want to go that far into things. The basic things, just simple things in life that are right there in front of us that you don't need to dig that deep are enough for me to keep myself busy with for a long time. So you don't need to dig that deep to start finding things that make you start wondering what's going on and who's actually running things around this country at this point.
But it's a small handful of people versus anyone who wants to step up and be empowered.
It is. And that's the only, that to me is the most positive thing of it. And people need to, I've had people ask us during, I was at a march against the NSA, I believe. And I'll never forget, someone was on the steps at the Hartford Library and they made a comment about, oh, good luck with that. You'll never get anywhere with that. And someone actually asked them about it, and they had a conversation back and forth. And he said he respected what we were doing. And what irked me and really got to me was that it's so simple that our numbers are so much larger. So if you don't like something that's being done, and you stand up, if you see those 10 people walking down the street saying they want to end domestic spying, well, and if you don't want domestic spying to continue, then join them. And it doesn't take a lot. And then once those numbers start to sway in the other direction, there's really nothing to do but change. They can, that handful of people, the money's only going to buy them so much. It becomes a point where the people are able to take back their power if enough people stand up and demand it. So I think that's really what it's about. Not so much what issue you're fighting for or not fighting for is getting involved and standing up on some of the real basic stuff, the corruption. And I think that's the biggest one, the money that's taken over our government and is making decisions that are affecting us, that, we're continuing to spend billions of dollars spying on American citizens while we're cutting food stamps that are going to the poor and the disabled and the elderly. And it's just mind-boggling to me that that's the kind of choices that are being made. And I just don't think there's that many people in this country that are going to stand there and think that that's the right choice to make if you really sit down and look at it. Or the money being spent on wars being made all over the world. I don't think there's that many, whether we're actually actively involved in them or we're just funding them. And that money can be used for so many better things and to help people and to help with our education system that's falling apart, or the number of homeless people, or the number of people that are hungry. It's pretty sickening, and these are the kind of things I think people really need to start saying they've had enough in this country. And I do think more people are starting to hit that line where they've had enough, and it's got to change. And I think we saw that with Syria. You saw massive amounts of people really get involved and stand up and say something about it, and that was great. And that's the kind of thing we need to be involved in more and have people doing more often, I think.
I do too. Well, we've come to the end, unfortunately, tonight, Shannon. I really want to thank you for coming on and expressing your beliefs and your fears and everything else. It's wonderful. I had so many more questions that we couldn't get to, but you were great. And if you can share your links again, that would be wonderful.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me. It was great. And, if you could look on Facebook, it's Activate CT Now on Facebook. We are Activate_CT on Twitter. And if you want to just send us an email, if you're looking for more information, it's activatect@gmail.com, and we can send you the link so you can be added to our mailing list. Or if you have questions you want to ask, just send an email, and we'll take care of that and answer it for you.
And if you want to get involved quickly, we have the Saturday March Against Mainstream Media.
And that, to me, I believe that's just going to be a one spot, kind of a picket event with some speakers. So I think that's one of those events that's easy to get involved in, family friendly. You don't have to worry about walking 10 miles or anything like that. You come for a little while, and if you're ready to leave, you can only stay for a little while. That's fine. So I think that's a great event for people to get out there and just give it a try and see what they think. You know, I think you're going to enjoy it. You're going to get some positive energy, and you're going to feel some strength and some power.
You'll be empowered.
It really is. Yep.
Well, thank you. Thank you again, Shannon. This has been Shannon Watson of Activate CT, and you can find her at her links that she shared, and I'll have that information up in the forums as well. Thanks again, Shannon.
All right. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you. And if you'd like to be a guest here on my show, usually on Sunday night, you can contact me at simplyconversations.com. And we usually talk about health and healing, which of course GMOs and finding ways to alleviate them from the whole situation is about health and healing. So if you have something you're passionate about, contact me and we'll set you up for your own show. And if you're here at awakenedradio.net and exploring around, come into the store and help to support us. We're largely host and listener supported, and our station owner, Donna Devane, has just put all kinds of great crystals and other little creations on sale within the store, and it's a great opportunity to pick up some wonderful crystals on sale for an inexpensive price and add to your collection. Also, we'll have a new issue of our Thrive magazine coming out soon, but if you'd like to contribute to the upcoming one, the deadline, I believe, is December 10th, and you can contribute holiday-related stories about family, about learning, or artwork or poetry all around the holidays. So that deadline, I believe, is December 10th, and your artwork is greatly appreciated. Your creativity is greatly appreciated. So please do contribute, and we share your bio and a link back to your site. You can also find my book on Amazon, and it's called Your Life Counts, and I talk all about finding your passion, connecting to your passion, and working with that in your life to lead a life that you truly desire. And additionally, if you'd like to sponsor this show or any of the other great shows here at Awakened Radio, you can provide us with a 30-second script or a spot you've recorded, and we'll play it during the show 3 times. And we have weekly shows, so you'll have your spot played at least 12 times a month, and it'll also be rebroadcast at least once during the month, and it'll be played again and again in the archives on iTunes when people download the shows. So it's a great way to get out your personal message if your business relates to health and healing and wellness. It's a great way to promote your business. So please do remember that. And we also have December 1st, 2013 speaker event coming up. So if you're a speaker and have a product or service you'd like to talk about, please come to Awakened Radio and find the links to Success 2014. Thanks for listening. And I'll talk with you again next week.
And you won't catch us sleeping through the fighting life. We're all eyes open, showing our inside and light so bright. We are awakened. Come and join our love, it's so right. If you could